Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. I'm TCaptainX. In case you don't know me, I make Warzone content to help you get better at the game. I'm an iridescent ranked player, 4.5 KD, 50 kill PR. In other words, I like to think I'm pretty decent at Warzone. In this video, we're going to be focusing on improving in the end game, especially the decision-making process part of it, because let's be honest, a lot of you guys will get to the end game, but then you panic, you make bad decisions, or to put things more bluntly, you choke. So we have 3 different end game situations that all came from the same stream actually. So it's not like I just handpicked my best ever moments. These are things I do on a consistent basis because generally I'm making better decisions than my enemies, which helps me win the end game. So we're in a trios of Vondel game. All my teammates are up here. We're on the edge of zone here, and we're playing this very cautiously because we know from audio cues there's people above us. I try to make a little sneak play up the ladder. Does not work here though. And in 20 seconds, this zone is going to start moving here. Now I'm making comms to my teammate, hey, we're going to have to just kind of wait for these guys to rotate, and we're going to have to smoke our way to the next zone here. If we start rotating early now, we are going to be sitting ducks. These guys above us are going to just fry us. So we need this team to come down. One of the guys tries to come down. We get a quick knock. Notice how as soon as I get that knock, I'm instantly back to cover, and I'm instantly plating up and I'm reloading here. One of the big things that I think a lot of people make mistakes of is they get it down and then they instantly focus in laser focus on getting that finish versus taking the time to plate up and reload before going back out. You have plenty of time to do that here. Now, one of my teammates goes down here, but he makes a call. Hey, he's weak, so I'm able to go very quickly finish him. Again, I'm back to cover. I'm plating, I'm reloading. With the zone moving, now I'm throwing smokes to give us cover because we're also getting held from closer into zone here, like towards stadium and towards zone here. Now, luckily during this, I'm actually able to spot a durable gas mask because my own gas mask has broke. So this is going to be extremely important here. I'm continuing to spam smokes here because there's so many people. Now, here's the bad thing. My teammate and I get completely split. If you look at the mini map here, my one teammate that's still up went left and I went right. It just is kind of the way it was. A little bit of poor communication on us, but I make the call out to him. I'm like, hey, play your life, just stay alive. This is a situation here because we are completely separated. I recognize I'm not in a great spot to really fight here. I'm just gonna lay low here and I'm gonna see what zone does. Along the way, I'm gonna end up looting a PDS, great for making gas plays. And as soon as the next zone sets, it is going to be pulling on my side. I got a very favorable zone pull. Now my teammate did not, but what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna set up for the early gas rotation. Here's a few rules here. If you're on that side of zone where it's pulling towards you, if people don't know where you are, if you have things like a gas mask, a PDS, stims, you are set up to make an early gas rotation. And an early gas rotation is always better than a late one, as long as you're set up to do so here. So once the zone starts moving, I'm gonna start moving as well. Now you have to be careful here. Sometimes people move way too early, and if you don't have the right things, you can get there and then you're stuck waiting on the gas to come to you, and you could end up dying to the gas. Because I have both a durable and a PDS, I've got plenty of time. I let my gas mask break. I take my time. I'm not panicking. I'm not rushing. We then throw the PDS down, which allows me to basically have a little pocket of non-gas or fresh air. We start peeking over here. Now, one of the big things here is notice how I am not overextending on this ledge. Every time I'm up on that ledge, I am a huge target for my enemies to shoot, and I don't want to risk getting sniped or anything. As these guys finally make the jump, now that's my time to peek and get them. Ideally, what they should have done actually is one of them should have jumped while the other one stayed back and tried to shoot me, but instead they went both at the same time, and we're both kind of open targets. Now, at this moment here, my teammate that was up went down, but my other teammate got bought back in the process here. So it is a 2v2v1 based on these numbers here. We've got great high ground. Again, notice how I'm not overextending on this ledge. I'm up and I'm down. I'm up and I'm down. I'm checking behind me. I think I hear audio cues, so I prone and we just kind of stare at the door. Not really sure here. Get up to try to look around when this guy actually is going to zip up from behind. In all honesty, where we are in Vondel, this is an area that zones don't end often, and I almost never land here. So I actually didn't know that this zip line was here just because I rarely am in this area of the map. Now, this is very crucial. This is a different skin than the guy that came up on the zip line. So because of that, I know that there has to be more than one coming. I'm up on high ground, and notice how all I'm doing is I am pre-aiming where the enemy is going to come from. Notice also, though, how I am not on the very ledge here. I'm back a little bit, which means that from their point of view, they could really only see about chest up. My entire body is not exposed. Also, notice how I am strafing left and right during that gunfight, which forces them to miss a lot of shots here. I'm actually running a strafe build for the Superi, and I'm using the Stalker perk, which gives me even faster strafe speed. Now, at this point, only one player left. I'm keeping my high ground, trying to figure out. My teammate starts shooting and starts calling out. He's down here. He also gives a great live ping for me. And when he's focused on getting the finish, it allows me to go back, get in there, and we get the dub in what was a pretty sweaty lobby, to be honest. All right, moving on to the next game here. This is another Vondel game. This is a solo versus trios here. Now, during this, you're gonna see I die right off the rip here. I basically just got full sent by a team, didn't really hear them until they were right on me. It is what it is. But what I want to point out here is that when I start to respawn here, now I happen to die right before resurgence is disabled. You're going to see 5 seconds left. I died right about here. If I go land back there, 9 times out of 10, that team is still going to be there. In 9 times out of 10, I'm just going to die again, and then the game's over. So, unless you have teammates that are in that area around you where you just died and maybe they've cleared out those guys that killed you, you just can't land back on your stuff again. So at this point, I'm trying to find somewhere out in the middle of nowhere kind of where I can go loot and just get some decent ground loot here. Try to land here at this gas station, which is way out in the middle of nowhere, and it happens to be looted. So is what it is. Now I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward ahead here just a little bit here. I am rotating up towards the next building here. Again, looking for more loot here when I'm gonna get kind of caught off guard here a little bit. Now, one thing I want to point out here is that guy actually had some really nice movement. We'll slow this down even too a little bit. He hits a jump. He goes behind cover. He challenges out with a nice slide. Pretty good stuff by him, in all honesty. The differences of why I won the gunfight is simply because sometimes the excessive movement, especially when you don't have the right guns, because I think he had the same guns I did, which was just a starter ground loot MCW. If you're doing all this movement with a slower gun, it's almost useless because that sprint to fire time, that delay, where you're just moving and you're not shooting. Whereas I recognized I didn't have a great gun that I could utilize movement, so I just centered and hit my shots. So just want to throw that out there. Now I'm gonna fast forward again here a little bit because during this, I'm just kind of looting here, trying to find guns here. Eventually, I hear a shot very close to me. It sounds like it's a sniper kind of right below me here. So I start to kind of look over when, here we go. We get good shots, we get the down here. In these endgame situations, or just in situations in general where you've lost your custom guns, sometimes the best thing is just to try to kill someone else that has custom guns. And as you see if you see the white perks or silver perk box, those are custom perks, which tells me, okay, he must have custom guns, and he does. He's got a Superi, and he's got a Kar 98, which even despite their nerfs are still some of the best guns in the game. Also, I was able to pick up smokes and stims from him, which are going to come in very handy here. Now, see some people rotating. These are actually, I think, the guys that killed me earlier, and we hit some good snipes. Notice how I follow up, I hit all my shots in a row, but notice how I did immediately go for the finish on that guy that I downed. That is because he had some cover to work off of. He could have fallen behind the car. I really want to make sure I get my finishes, especially in these endgame situations. Because again, this is a solo versus trios here. Now, notice how I'm just playing slow. I'm waiting here. I don't have a lot of cover to work off of. I'm trying to pick up some shots on this guy. He's kind of moving around. I'm missing shots. Now the zone is forcing me. I have to move here. I have no cover in front of me. I can't just lay here because if I just kind of lay on this edge here, even though it might just be in zone, there's no cover. I will get absolutely fried from anybody across here. So I recognize I have to go forward here. We're going to utilize the water. Water is really annoying to fight in, but it's also really good to rotate kind of stealthily. So I rotate up towards the next area of cover here, and there is a guy right in front of me, but I'm not going to shoot at him. The reason for that is I have a horrible angle. there's almost no way I can get enough shots off in time where I can get a clean down here. And he actually never saw me during this because he's in the middle of fighting as well. So I'm going to just swim around, stay kind of out of the way, try to find a different angle here. Now, right there, that was actually a situation where I had kind of bad trigger discipline. I should have waited a little bit longer to shoot, but he gets a little bit greedy. He tries to re-peek, and all I do is just keep pre-aiming right at it. We get it down. Now, though, here we go. Now the zone is pulling back here. I'm kind of in the middle of zone, but because everyone else I know is up on land up here and fighting, I'm really the only one that nobody knows where I am. So I'm able to, again, use the water to kind of stealthily rotate, go deep underwater so they can't see me, throw that smoke before I come up, because now that I come up in water, now I'm completely surrounded in smoke. Unless an enemy has a thermal, which very few people run, there's no way they're going to see me here. I also have a stim stowed in my bag, which you're going to see I switched to here. Don't really need to use it, but we got it there just in case. Bam, we hit a very important kind of clutch shot here to my left here. Now, one thing I want to point out is no matter how good your positioning, your game sense is, sometimes you do just simply have to hit your shots here. Notice though, when I hit that shot, notice that the first thing I did was I scan this area. I see him to my left. I'm also hearing those shots to my left. I kind of pre-center, hit the shot, instantly go to cover, instantly start scanning for more. When his teammate starts to revive, and I'm able to very quickly hit that. Now, this is great because I just wiped that team that was to my left here. So assuming that with how small this zone is, I know that most likely if they were over here, that probably 90% of the chance means the last team is coming from the gas station here. So I'm going to get reloaded here behind cover. I'm laying behind this rock. When I spot one, bam, very clutch shot. Now, in this situation, notice how I do not instantly go for the finish. I just got my knock up here, but I am more concerned about I'm catching this guy rotating because I'm assuming he has to be rotating and trying to get ahead here. So I start looking when I actually just barely kind of clutch a glimpse of him underwater. And again, we play this nice and slow. It's really hard for people to get out of the water. We just pre-aim it. There you go. Another solid win when I was starting the game with no guns, but simply because I played patiently, found some other guns, had good positioning, hit good shots. We won that game. All right, one more game here. Another solo versus trios. This is on Rebirth Island. Just called in an advanced UAV. So in case you don't know, if you're a little bit, new to Warzone, if you call in 3 UAVs in a row, you'll get what's called an advanced UAV. This is going to give you the directional of your enemy. So see how he has a little arrow? That means he's facing that way towards that arrow. Now there is a downside to this though. When you call in advanced UAVs, you no longer get the up and down arrows, meaning are they above you or below you from a vertical standpoint. If you notice, you'll see there is one up here that has an up arrow. That player has the ghost perk. People with ghost perks, you won't be able to see it on, you will see them on advanced UAV, whereas on normal UAV, you wouldn't, but you don't get the directionality, but you still get the verticality. It's really confusing, but just wanted to throw that out there. Now, I see this guy. I can tell that he is just on the other side of this building, and he's running this way based on his arrow. So again, all we do is we just pre-aim where he's going to come. He comes out. We hit good shots. Easy peasy. Nothing crazy here. There are 2 other teams left, and assuming on numbers here, it should be a team of 3 and a team of 2. I see everyone up in this area, and I see one guy way out here by himself. Because I'm also by myself, I want to try to isolate my fights to 1v1s. This guy, I think he's trying to run and go maybe to the buy station way out here and make like a gas play buyback. Not able to do so though. So we get him down. We also have another guy who is way up here. And then everyone else is kind of up near the prison area here. I'm taking my time here. It looks like this guy landed in, hit great shots here. One other thing I want to point out here is notice where I'm standing. I am standing right on this window ledge and I have great cover here. So if, let's say, somebody popped out from over here and started shooting at me, I can instantly get into cover and go to my right here. Now I'm unable to get that finish here, but we go to cover, we reload. Now we start to push up here. I can stop here and play off these stairs if I need to, but as I come up, I don't see anyone in front of me. Plus, based off the UAV, they're all kind of inside the prison area. So we work up to the helicopter here. And again, I'm just pre-aiming. I'm playing nice and slow off of cover. His teammate bought both of his teammates back here. So I've got 2 people flying in here. Again, I'm kind of playing slow. I'm waiting to see if anyone's going to peek when these guys start landing down, and we need to get rid of those guys because, again, I have to keep numbers on my side here. Now, I rotate up here. I am sitting in gas. I do luckily have a durable gas mask, but notice how, again, I don't just run into the mix. So many people panic when they get in the gas. Even if you don't have a gas mask, I could still stay here for a few moments here. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just sit and wait for this smoke to dissipate. When I spot one guy up there, we get the down. Now, very important here. I don't know if you saw this here. As I did this, an enemy is going to end up kind of poking right at my left side here. So watch the far left here. Okay, if you see this little blue, that's one of the blue fire looking skins. So I see that out of the corner of my eye here. Now, I have 2 options. I can turn and just try to fight. However, because I have my long range gun out, I'm using an SOA subverter. This is not a close range gun by any means. If he has his SMG out, I'm probably going to lose. But again, notice how I positioned off of cover here, and I can now, just like before, I can go right to the right here, and I can use that time to switch guns. And immediately, I turn around and I start pre-aiming if he chases me. He chases me, and he breaks my armor. He hits a few shots on me, but because I was pre-aiming it, I get shots on before him. Now, I had also thrown a smoke down in that process. I always run smoke grenades over stims. Stims are great. I'm not knocking on stims at all. However, I think smokes are more versatile, especially when it comes to being able to make rotations. And just when you're outnumbered, you can get people to lose sight of you. So that smoke allows me to run around, basically, lose sight of everyone, get reloads off, get plated and everything. Now, I did drop down here. More buybacks are coming again. So what should have just been a few enemies has now turned into multiple because people keep getting bought back. Again, I'm just chilling here. I'm using the stairs as cover when I start looking up because of the buybacks here. We hit great shots and knock him. It's now a 1v1 and I'm feeling good. I'm like, okay, we finally got everyone out. Nope, 2 buybacks. It's now back to a 1v3. This is where things get pretty hectic here because I know these 2 teammates are going to send it down on me and they're going to try to just beat me with numbers. They're not going to have great guns, but they are going to be spawning in with probably an AR or an SMG of some sort here. So I'm trying to very quickly find the guy that bought back. I think I'm hearing some audio cues that he's up here, but I'm not seeing anything. When I hear that parachute, very quickly get him down. Now, I am not at all concerned about finishing him. When somebody just gets bought back, they never are going to have a self-revive. You will only have a self-revive at the very beginning of a game in Resurgence, or if you happen to loot one on the way. So I know he can't self-revive, so I'm not concerned about him. Now, here's the problem. The other guy is landed up on the water tower. He doesn't have a great gun, but he's still up there enough that he can pester me. And then the guy that bought back is somewhere on the catwalk near the buy station here. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to cut off line of sights here where I can look for this guy and not have the guy on the water tower shoot me. So see how I back up? Now I've cut off his line of sight, but I still can't find the other guy. So I'm gonna try to see if I can knock this guy, break his armor, but not quite. Now, because I've broke his armor, unless he is like a maniac, he's not gonna rechow that. He's gonna go back, he's gonna reset, wait for his health to regen, maybe put on plates if he has plates. So now I know this is my chance. I have to go and I have to get the other guy out. So I look for him and here he is. He's up on the catwalk. We had a nice slide cancel around the corner here. Notice the strafing back and forth that throws off his aim. Now it's a 1v1. I know that this last guy has to be up top. I'm getting high alerted, as you can see as well. And I'm trying to get directly under him, because when you're directly under them, it's going to be nearly impossible for him to have an angle on me. We get reloaded, we get replated, and I'm just looking up because I know this guy ultimately has to jump. This is a situation of where having the height and the high ground in the end game when it's closing is not the best, because if you're forced to jump, it's literally a free kill. So guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. We also stream right here on YouTube, usually about 5 days a week, usually during the afternoon, during the weekdays. So if you like this stuff, come check out a stream. Like I said, all of these gameplays happen to live on stream. We talk about how to get better and stuff on stream as well. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one.